everyone, and welcome back to the Realist Real Estate Show. We have a very special episode coming up for you. I'm your host, Andrea Fasano, and I'm going to be taken through the process of organizing a room in my home. Well, how does this relate to the real estate, you may wonder? Expert and professional organizer Dana Barash is here to explain. Check it out. So we talk a lot about thinking outside of the box when it comes to real estate and how essential it is to this business. However, organization is an area that I feel like we brush over when it comes to buying and selling a house. However, Dana Barash, founder and owner of Spacial Serenity, says that it's a super important and necessary part of the entire process. Spacial Serenity is a professional organizing service with the purpose of bringing order and efficiency to the lives of her clients in their space, whether at home or at work. And her mission is to bring encouragement, hope, and light, we can all use a little bit of that right now, to spaces and places that have not received proper care. Well, Dana took me through her process and we'll be showing you that in a little bit. But first, let's meet Dana Barash. Hey, Dana, how you doing?
I'm good, Andrea. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fantastic now that you've completely helped me clear out my foyer, and I'm feeling clear and serene, and I can't wait to attack actually other parts of the house. So thank you so much for showing me your process. But really, I mean, we want to get to know you and how you got started in this organizing business.
Yeah, that's a long story. Where do you want me to start? From like when I was a little girl or what?
Well, does it go back that far? I mean, your whole process of becoming an organizer and why this is important to you, and I mean, to create an entire business out of it. Yeah, tell me all about it.
All right, cool. It is my innate skill. I guess I didn't know that growing up, but I wound up starting to use it in my life as a child. What started to happen was when I was very young, I kind of figured out that I don't really have a lot of control over a lot of things. However, I can control my space, and I'm not sure if it was like when I was about to get in trouble or I just needed to like blow off some steam, but my mom would come home and the the spice rack would be organized. I would go in and I'd do the bathrooms. I would change around my bedroom. I would like to attack different things in my space. And I noticed that it affected my mood. My parents were like, yes, we love you. I got props. So, so I definitely grew up this way. And when I decided to create it and make it a business, people would always ask me, oh, do you practice what you preach? I'd say, no, I'm just preaching what I've been practicing my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you do say, and we've had conversations about this, that there's a huge psychological element to being organized. So can you explain that to me a little bit more and how you use that in your process of taking people through organizing their homes and workspaces?
Yeah, totally. I have a degree in human services, so I do have a therapeutic counseling degree. So I did learn how to listen to people, and I learned to listen to not just what they were saying, but the underlying stuff, what they're not saying.
The things that we're saying but not saying by being unorganized. Why we do certain things, why we put certain things here. So yeah, I mean, I guess that leads us into, can you tell us about your process a little bit? Like when you meet someone, what do you do? Like, how do you start by talking them through your process? Especially now in this time, you've been doing everything through Zoom, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I did pivot to virtual remote organizing. To be honest with you, I didn't even know if it was going to work. But the process is the process, and whether I'm in front of you on a computer or, I'm in front of you face to face, it works. So the first step usually when I'm face to face is an interview with the space and the interview with the client and in their space. Why did they place that there? What's their goal? What's their vision? And honestly, it seems like virtually you can get a lot more accomplished a lot quicker.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And again, I'm just figuring this out because this is a new transformation for me and my business. And I guess we'll talk about that later. That's what, prompted me to create this new brand, Dana B. But the process really is figuring out what the client's goals are and what they've been struggling with. And then for me to just feel the space and envision what needs to be done, and then functionally organize it, create systems, teach the client whatever they need to know, either about boundaries or rotation, which are some things that we sort of tapped into, but not so much in your session. But we did a lot of functional organizing in your personal session.
Yeah, I mean, in my personal session, we still got a lot done. And I know that there are so many other areas of my house that like you could really go through that. And maybe we'll do that in the future when we're not trying to record it and edit it and put it up for an interview. But I totally got a feel and an idea for what you do with people on a daily basis. And it was extremely helpful. So let's take this opportunity. Let's go ahead and show everyone. And for everyone listening, you can definitely follow along. We're going to see how Dana used her powers for good by organizing my foyer that needed so much attention. Here it is. Okay, so we're in the foyer here, or, the foyer, and it's a really big space for the front of the house. Right now, it just needs some sort of organization because it's a total mess, and I really feel like that's actually like affecting us. We come in here and we're just like, ugh, and walk past and don't want to attack it. We need more organizational tools as far as either a bench or something to like hide things in, and I know that that's all something I have to order and get, but for right now, can you help me?
So take me around to the space and let me see what's going on.
We have some gardening going on here by the front window. Since the weather hasn't been that great just yet, it's a place to kind of start that. This is like my area for shoes. Okay. And this is our coat rack. We are coming out of obviously winter into the spring. We're not using it so much anymore. And we just need to do better.
Okay. Now, how many people are living in that house?
We have 3 kids that come here every other weekend. And so when they come, there's a lot more shoes, a lot more jackets, and a lot more going on.
Move that coat rack and move that equipment. Obviously, it's time for you to do a seasonal change. Do you have any boxes or bins or bags? I want you to do like your seasonal shoes in one bag and his in the other.
These are just mine. Oh, but I love these shoes and I didn't even get to wear them because of the pandemic.
A part of maintaining organization is that you have to control your own space and he has to be in charge of controlling his own space.
Okay, someone has a sneaker problem.
I would like in that spot right there to have the coat rack. So I want you to empty the coat rack completely first. That mat over there, that's gonna be like an in-out spot. That spot should always be changing. It should never be a pile-up spot. You come in, you put something down, you move it right away. Or you're in the house at night and you're preparing for the next day, you put it there.
I'm laughing because we still have Christmas lights up and a broken smoke detector. I mean, not the safest thing in the world.
I think this room is actually complete. All right, so I'm just gonna recap kind of what we worked on together and what we did. So you had a huge mess right in front of the door. It's the worst to come home or even leave the space with a huge mess. We took the shoes that were piled up in that corner and we moved them to the opposite side and we separated them. The reason why we separated it is because it's important for you both to have your own space. It's easier for you to maintain, and then it's actually also easier if you have to help someone else in the family maintain their space. Now, when we moved the pile of the shoes in front of the door, we created another space. And functional organizing is having things where they functionally should be. I would suggest that you get like some type of small shelving that you can use for while you're doing your planting so that you're actually taking advantage of all of that space. Looking at the bay window, I decided that it's important that you should have a bench right there. And that's kind of in the middle of where the shoes are gonna be. I also think that it's important, since you have 3 kids coming into the house, that you have a place for them to kind of just throw their shoes. So you need either cubbies or a bench that opens or a basket that closes. They're small right now. They're not gonna put their shoes neatly. It's just not gonna happen. Nice. How are you guys feeling?
I love it. Thank you so much. I am focused. I know exactly what to do now with this space. Oh my gosh, Dana, I feel like I could seriously breathe better just from watching that again, just from feeling the space and opening up and knowing that I can put stuff away and just having the motivation to do that. Because I think that's what's really hard sometimes, just motivating yourself to do that. And you did the thinking for me. And that was huge. I mean, I literally started to sweat, but from all of the rearranging, but that's fine. Because guess what? I still got a workout in. So yay. But let's jump into, after everyone's just seen and heard about that. As an expert and in your expert opinion, why is organization so important to the real estate industry? And why do you think it's most important for people actually trying to sell their homes? How can they benefit from your services?
So buying and selling your homes is a very emotionally charged, let's just say, project.
Mm-hmm.
The situation is high because it has a lot to do with money. It has a lot to do with the outcome, and for everything you want to prep. When you prep in life, you always have a better outcome. You prep, you study for the test, you get 100. You don't prep, you kind of know what you're doing, you could maybe get a 75, 80. It's the same thing in life. You want to always clear that path. You want to make things a lot easier and smoother. So if you want the transition from packing up all your items to figuring out like what you're going to need in your next space to kind of, clearing the air and getting it energetically ready for a new buyer to come in and like fall in love with this space, you really need to be organized. And it's not a last minute thing. It can be done in last minute, but it doesn't have to be. It could be enjoyable. Imagine getting your space organized. You're going to be moving in the next 5 years. You start 5 years early and you start getting organized. And then you could live that way in that space, enjoying that house. And then the first step is just packing. You don't even have to, go through all the stuff. So, it is really something to think about. And I really feel like it's something necessary that real estate agencies or realtors need to kind of add into their pitch. And it comes with working with an organizer. And we're going to start working with an organizer way before we put your house up for sale.
I love that. And I think that's a really good point. I have moved a lot in my life, like a lot. And every time I hate the process, I dread it. And it's something that you have to do, in my situation, wherever it was, I had to move. So for one reason or another, but when I did it and I went through and I cleaned out my space and I threw out things I didn't need that I was looking at every single day. And I'm like, why am I still looking at this stuff? Like, why is it still in my face? It feels so good in the end. And that's exactly what you're talking about. Just kind of organizing and living comfortably. And it's a hassle maybe at first, but once you get over that hump, and especially with working with someone to do it, it takes a lot of that pressure off, a lot of that hassle, and you feel so good at the end.
Yeah. And I want to make a point about that. Like, think about if you had all those times that you had to move, if you had done that organizing prior to the move, that move would have been so much less stressful. You would have just cut the stress in half, if you just took care of that. And the thing about getting organized is you only have to really get organized within your space once. The deal is all you have to do is continue to maintain it. So I teach people how to maintain that organization.
And I was saying to you, listen, I really said this to you before we were talking about doing this. I don't know if I need you. I'm pretty organized, you know, like a lot of this is just the way we've been because of the pandemic and not really putting it first. But oh, I know I need a bench here and I know I need to put something else here. But truly, after talking to you, I would have left some things in the places that they were just out of convenience. Um, it really reorganized my thinking as well. So it works. It really is it's a functional space now, and I feel good about it. I do. I feel much better about it, and I can build around it instead of feeling like stuck or just a mess, which is what I felt before.
So that's a great point. A lot of what I do with my clients is I will teach them in one space, you know, how to create a system and functionality and all this stuff. And it starts to get them thinking like this in other spaces. And I wouldn't be surprised if over the weekend I get a couple of texts from you where you're like, hey, we were in the bedroom and we decided to change the,
For sure.
or we were in the kitchen, and because now
the wheels are turning.
Things. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And so that's another reason. If the client just needs this kind of this boot camp, this little quick thing where they can get an idea of what I'm talking about, what spatial serenity really means and how it feels and how it works, you know, and it's not just for the space, it's for your mind. Your mind is clearer. You're going to feel better walking in and walking out. I mean, we did a space that you're passing every single day.
Every day.
Whether you realized it or not, you know, those feelings were like in that space every single day, you know? So every single day you'd walk past that space and you get a little jolt of,
Yep.
You don't need that.
No.
It's been eliminated.
Exactly. And you know
Just
what?
like your stuff.
I didn't get a chance to say this yet because we didn't say it in the video or in the pre-recorded, but we rent this house. So there are certain things we can't change. I mean, yeah, we could definitely paint it because I've been wanting to do that. But, you know, that mirrored entrance, like it's not ours. So we have to work with it. We have to work around it. And it's fine because it's somewhere to put the keys and hang your hat on. But there are some things you can't change. In addition to that, there were things that I thought that I definitely wanted to do that now, because of talking with you, I would have wasted money. I would have completely wasted money getting certain new racks or certain new things that didn't fit in the spaces that now we've moved things to. And now I can invest wiser and make them work efficiently. So
you bring up a great point. A lot of my clients will say to me, so what can I do? What can I get, you know, before we start? And I say, don't get anything.
Right.
Don't do anything. Number one, I don't want people to get organized before I go and help them get organized. Talking about the psychological part, I have to figure out what your patterns of behavior are in order to undo your patterns of behavior. If you've already undone them before I get there, how am I going to do what I'm supposed to do? That's number one. You know, and number two, I'm a fan way before, like since I'm a little girl, way before it became a fad or cool to repurpose. I am like the repurposing queen. So I'm like, pretty much all my clients, they own everything they need. They don't need to buy anything, you know, and then in the end we figure out, oh yeah, you know, purchase a bench, purchase this, purchase that, couple little things here and there. But you don't need to go crazy, you know, and it's a lot more fun, by the way, to use things that you love, that you've been just trying to figure out what to use them for, than to having to buy something else.
Absolutely. Because otherwise it's sitting there wasting space anyway, you know, like I like organizing when, like we were talking about when it comes to bins, but guess what? I have 1,000, it's probably not an exaggeration, empty bags lying around the house. And I'm talking like gym bags or just duffel bags that I get for free because I buy a pair of shoes and it was sold with it, you know? So I have them, they're just lying around. Why not use that? And then maybe I can put that in a bin and put it away somewhere or what have you. But yeah, truly amazing. I love the process. I love what you do. You know, it is a really important thing to think about when it comes to real estate. And when it comes, you don't have to be a hoarder to do this. And it's not just a matter of staging. because that's a totally different section and area of the real estate when it comes to prepping your house to be sold. It's different, right?
Totally different. Yeah. I'm not a stager. I can organize a space. I can create systems. I can teach the client how to functionally do things and not do things. I change behaviors. I can design something, but I'm not a stager.
Right.
I'm just not. I could put things together. I'm not unfunctional and non-color savvy, but
Right.
that's not my thing.
No, but you really don't have to do that then if your house is neat and organized. That's the point. So you're not taking two different steps. You absolutely can, and that's like we said, another step, but you
And
probably
a
most likely
bonus.
won't
Yeah.
have to. Right. Okay, so let's get to this new brand that you created within your company. What is it? Dana B.
Yeah. So I'm so excited about it. It's really the coaching part of what's been going on for years and years. I'm a professional organizer. My business is Spacial Serenity, but I wanted to create a brand. I really wanted to like jazz it up a little bit and have something different and launch some new things. And I thought, what's better than launching a new brand when you're doing a new facet of the business? And now I'm doing all this remote stuff. It needs something. So I just created Dana B, right? And there it is on the Zoom. And you can go to my Facebook. I've made it public, and you can also link with me on LinkedIn and we can connect. And I just started the 12 days of getting organized, like the 12 days of Christmas.
Yep. Nice.
So something for people. It's for free right now, and you can get into it. It's a do-it-yourself, so you can
jump on it, people.
definitely. It's a do-it-yourself, so you can start at the first day. It doesn't matter that the challenge already started, and you could start with day 1 and every day go through the days. Now, what's interesting is I just did days 1, 2, and 3 back to back.
Okay.
And the last 2 days, I've given people a break. I haven't posted as far as next 2 days. And the reason being is that you can get burnt out when you're organizing. So it doesn't have to be this thing where you have to like really focus on every day. Again, once you're organized, every day is just about maintenance. But these are the 12 steps to getting organized. And the first 3 that I did was number 1, write a to-do-able list, a to-doable list. It's different than a to-do list. And if you go to the post, you'll see, but I'll just give you a little tidbit right here. A to-do list is usually long, and it's all the ideas that are coming out of my head. Mm-hmm. Everything that needs to get done. Food shopping could be on there. My podcast with Andrea could be on there.
Right.
Laundry. That's the to-do list. The doable list is the priority list that I'm going to take care of for that day. And it's usually 5 to 7 items. And you want to keep it small because you want to be successful. You want to set yourself up for success. If you have 20 things on the list, and if you by chance get that all done, all right, cool, you're amazing. But typically that's not going to happen, and you'll still constantly be feeling not so good about yourself. So being organized is also about, feeling good about yourself and putting out positive energy and getting in that zone. Mm-hmm. And this is a way to do it, And day 2 was handle distractions. Day 3 was create a workspace. So check out those links. Get on the challenge. Andrea, I want to see your name up there.
Yep. I'm right on top of that, Rose.
This is all leading up to, by the way, on May 15th, I'm launching a boot camp to get your mind and your space in shape. It's a 90-day boot camp.
Ooh.
So, yeah, it's going to be really.
Wow. What can people expect from that?
Oh my God. It's going to be life-changing.
That's it. That's all you need to hear.
Drop the mic.
That's it. All right. Well, everyone tune in and stay aware and awake for that, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be constantly posting on the Facebook and the LinkedIn, moving up to it, more information. So
okay, great.
the other day I posted the first poster.
Nice. All right. Well, everyone will have to go to your links below and tune into that. Dana, anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Oh my God, we've said a lot. I'm just excited and I'm happy. A while ago when the TV show came out and Hoarders and all these things, like organizing was just kind of getting its feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started my business 8 years ago and I was networking, people were like, you're what? Like that even exists? Like no one even knew this industry existed. And it really was very small. It was about 5,000 organizers listed in the country when I first started.
Wow.
So it was tiny. And now it's like a huge thing. And a lot of people can really get into it. And this pandemic, like you said, it's a bonus. Like a lot of people are organizing. But I want to know how many people are going to stay organized when we get back to that fast track. And the tip right here is to create systems. And typically, if they're not functional, right? And they don't have, like you said, the tools and the ingredients that you need to sustain, they won't, And so what better to do? Jump on this challenge, get into the boot camp and get yourself prepared, for that one time, that one space when you're going to decide to sell your home.
I love it. Thanks so much, Dana. Spacial Serenity. You guys say that 10 times fast. And thank you so much. I will definitely obviously be keeping in touch with you. I'll text you later if I get, motivated to clear anything else out of this space. But thank you so much for your great wisdom and advice. And we hope everyone takes advantage and gets organized. Well, I am definitely feeling a lot of clarity and serenity, as well as just the feeling of being organized, which is a great, great feeling. I hope you all were able to take a little bit of something away from that episode. Be sure to follow Dana and check out her links below, and make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, as well as share this video with anyone you think who might get some enjoyment out of it. Until next week, take care.